Better to know less, sleep more peacefully, an old saying. But Lyra would have strongly disagreed. If she had known less, she might have ended up in a very bad situation. But she knew enough. One July evening, Lyra was heading home from work. Instead of her usual route through the courtyard straight into her apartment building, she decided to take a short walk around the pond right under their windows. It was a small detour, nothing unusual. But that small choice changed everything. After circling the pond, Lyra approached her building from the opposite side, not the usual entrance she always used. By pure chance, her husband was sitting on a bench near the entrance. He was looking exactly in the direction she would normally appear from. And he was talking on the phone. Lyra slowed down. She had been planning to sneak up behind him and surprise him a little. But instead, she was the one about to be surprised. She stepped back quietly and hid behind a large bush so he wouldn't notice her. Even by accident. And then she heard it. "No, she won't be controlling the paperwork for the apartment. You think my wife doesn't trust me?" Lyra froze. Her husband paused, listening to the response on the other end, then continued. "I'm not stupid. I know exactly what happens if she registers the apartment in her name. Nothing good for me." A short silence. "Listen, calm down. This option doesn't work for me either, and for you too, obviously. Half the apartment is fine, but what if we divorce? That's the problem." Another pause. "So here's what we'll do. I'll tell Lyra I'll handle the entire purchase process myself. We'll go together, and you'll become the only owner. Just remember, either a gift deed or a written agreement. I still need something in writing." The voice on the phone replied briefly, approvingly. "Of course, I understand. You don't need anything for yourself, it's all just for me. I just want full security. Alright, let's finish this tomorrow. Lyra will be back soon," he said and ended the call. Lyra stood completely still. Now everything was clear. Her husband wanted to protect himself, and in doing so, take control of the apartment they were about to buy together. The apartment they had been saving for over 2 years. They had been renting all this time, slowly putting money aside. But they only had enough for a down payment, so they planned to take a mortgage. And recently, Lyra had received a large sum of money from the sale of her grandmother's apartment. Her parents had sold it and given her the money so she wouldn't go into debt and could immediately buy her own place. If she added that to what they had saved together, it was enough for a good, spacious apartment. Lyra had never really thought about ownership shares. She assumed it would simply be theirs, 50-50. No big deal. But her husband clearly saw it differently. Turns out, there were other options. Other intentions. Lyra carefully walked around the building from the other side and pretended she had just come back from work. Her husband greeted her warmly, completely unaware that anything had changed. The next morning, while her husband went to the store, Lyra took the money from their small home safe, got into the car, and drove straight to her parents. And she started counting. There was no time left to argue or split the money. "Sweetheart, where are you?" Tolia called. "I had an idea. I'm going to buy the apartment today," Lyra replied suddenly. "The one we looked at together. If everything goes fine, I might come back home with the keys." She almost smiled to herself. It was tempting to joke about how his voice suddenly sounded so tense. Tolia immediately changed his tone. "What? No, I mean, good for you, of course, but let's do it together. I just thought we should handle something this important as a couple." "I decided it's time I take responsibility too," Lyra said calmly. "It's not fair to put all of this on you." No, it's not hard for me at all," he rushed to say. "Really? Okay. We'll talk when I get back." And she did, 5 hours later. By then, Lyra had already decided that waiting around was over. Tolia was standing at the door when she returned. He looked pale, exhausted, and nervous. His hands were shaking slightly. He clearly wanted to shout, but was holding himself back. Nothing worked out today, Lyra said casually as she placed her umbrella on the stand. Tolia exhaled sharply, like he had been holding his breath for hours. It's okay, don't worry, I'll help you with everything, he said quickly, suddenly trying to sound reassuring. His mood improved instantly, almost suspiciously. I'll just put the money back, he added. No stress. The money's already gone, Lyra said. That was the second shock of the day. Tolia froze. What? His voice betrayed him. At my mom's place, he blurted out before he could stop himself. Lyra tilted her head. What's wrong with your head? He asked, panic creeping in. What's the problem? She replied coldly. Afraid your mommy won't make it in time for the deal? The playful tone in her voice was gone now. Tolia slowly sat down on the edge of a chair. Even paler than before. How do you know all this? He whispered. I always know everything, Lyra said flatly. So don't even dream about that shared apartment anymore. Silence. Now calm down. We're going to take the documents and file for divorce. The word divorce didn't even fully register in his mind at first. I admit it, Tolia rushed out instead. I messed up. I was just trying to protect myself. But that money in the safe, it wasn't only yours from your grandmother's apartment. There were our shared savings too. So what? Lyra interrupted. She opened her bag and pulled out a neatly wrapped bundle. Here, she said. Half of what we saved together. I don't take what isn't mine. Tolia opened his mouth, but no words came out. I'm not like you, Lyra continued. Or your family. I'm honest. What I earned is mine. What you earned, you can keep. She stood up. Pack your things. Tolia finally found his voice, but it was too late. If you want, you can stay in the apartment for now. I'll move out. I'm buying the new one anyway. Without you, I'll still have enough. My parents will help with the rest. A faint, tired smile crossed her face. Don't worry. There wasn't that much in there anyway. It hurt, of course it hurt. But he didn't need to know that.